our first responders and our firefighters who are trying to battle this, there's no water in the Palisades.
What is the situation with the water? Obviously, in the Palisades, ran out last night in the hydrants. I was talking to the firefighter on this block. They left because there was no water in the hydrant here.
The local folks are trying to figure that out.
California has officially become a red state overnight, thanks to the ineptitude of Governor Gavin Newsom, Mayor Karen Bass, and the rest of the incompetent Democrat politicians that are filling every single level of government. 40% of Californians voted for Donald Trump in this election, which is already a scary number if you're Democrats. But after this latest blunder in dealing with the massive fires that are ravishing Los Angeles right now, I am 100% certain that California will be a red state going forward. And watch till the end of this video because I'm going to explain in detail why I believe this. Now, I live in Los Angeles, and at the moment, I'm fine. My hearts go out to everybody who's been affected by these fires. It is not a joke. I know tons of people who have lost their homes, their prized possessions, their priceless memories, and I can tell you people are pissed at leadership right now. I was actually in Santa Monica the other day with my fiance when these fires started breaking out, and I recorded a video of the fire starting in the Palisades, and I'm gonna play that now for you. Now, fires are pretty common in California, so nobody's surprised by that. But what people are so angry about that is going to lead them to demand change is the lack of preparedness by the Democrat leadership, as well as the numerous policies that were implemented that directly resulted in this fire ravishing through the city. Now, if you aren't already privy to this, LA is so proud because they appointed their first fire chief, who's a lesbian woman. And listen to her talk about what her top objective is. It isn't creating the most capable firefighting force. It isn't increasing preparedness for potential disasters. I bet you guessed it. It's addressing the problem of too many white men working in the fire department. Watch.
I'm super inspired.
She took time out of her already busy schedule to tell us about her vision for the department's future, one that includes a 3-year strategic plan to increase diversity.
People ask me, well, what number are you looking for? I said, I'm not looking for a number. It's never enough.
Out of 3,300 city firefighters, only 115 are women right now. She's already looking at ways to change that. She's quick to point out that doing so has a greater purpose, attracting the best and brightest for the job.
They feel included, they feel valued, and they feel part of a cohesive team.
The chief also checks another box when it comes to inclusivity and diversity at this department. She's a proud member of the LGBTQ community.
That just kind of opens the door of people that thought, wow, I didn't even know that that was an opportunity for me.
And this is reason number one why California is going red. Just to be clear, I have no problem with women and I have no problem with gay people. The problem I have, I'm sure you have, and now everybody in California has, is making the job requirements for serious, critical, life-saving jobs, not based on skill, not based on competence, not based on capabilities, but on diversity. There should be a high standard for these kind of jobs. And if you're a man, a woman, black, white, gay, whatever, if you can meet these standards, you should get the job. But if you put an emphasis on hiring people based off of characteristics or criteria that has no relevance to the job success, then you are ultimately going to lower the bar in order to get the results that you so desperately desire. And there is no better example than this lady's second in command, a gay black woman. So she checks off all the boxes that you want. Now listen to this same gay black woman say that you shouldn't criticize her for not being able to meet the physical demands of the job. It's your fault if you're caught in a fire. I'm not kidding. Watch.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
So yeah, there you go. That is the result of your fabulous DEI initiatives. Firefighters who blame you if you're caught in a fire. DEI is racist and discriminatory, and it's never okay. But it is certainly not okay when it's implemented into jobs that are the difference between life and death for the citizens, just like the military. That's why this is such a big problem. And this is what the residents of California are feeling in mass. All the woke ideology is all fun and games until your house is burning down and the firefighters are blaming you and not coming to save you. And this is just one of many idiotic Democrat policies that have led to this catastrophe. I'm going to show you guys more throughout this video. But the real reason why California is going to be going red after this is because who this fire affected. The richest people in California. The Pacific Palisades, Malibu, these are home to some of the wealthiest people on planet Earth. And now all the virtue signaling that made them feel so great is coming back to bite them in the ass, and they are not happy about it. It's like when illegal immigrants were sent from Texas to Martha's Vineyard, and then all of a sudden every single liberal there who has a "no human is illegal" sign on their front yard was like, whoa, wait a minute. Illegal immigration is cool, just not in our neighborhood. And that's the exact same way these people are feeling now. All that woke stuff is fine until it starts affecting me. Now, because Democrats love controlling and interfering with the free market, California has a law on the books that prevents insurance companies from charging a certain premium unless it's approved by the state. And you know what that's led to? Major insurers pulling out of the state of California. So now tons of these homes are not even insured. Because if the insurance companies can't charge a premium that is relative to the level of risk and the cost associated with rebuilding a $25 million mansion, then they can't do it. They're not going to lose money. But thanks to California politicians, that's exactly what has happened. And so the state created its own insurance program for people who couldn't get insurance through private companies. And you want to know how much money it has? $300 million. That's like 10 houses in Malibu. So either that's going to go insolvent or they're going to pay for it and then just raise the taxes and the premiums on everybody else throughout California to pay for this disaster. And the regular people who have to foot the bill for these multimillionaires getting their $25 million homes rebuilt are not going to be happy about that either. Over the last 2 years, California has had record rainfall. And instead of collecting billions and billions of gallons of fresh rainwater and melted snow, you know what they decided to do with it instead? Dump it right into the Pacific Ocean. Here's Gavin Newsom bragging about the largest dam removal in California history. Watch.
Largest dam removal project in U.S. history and one of the most significant, if not the most significant, water restoration project, bringing back salmon and steelhead into this basin. This project could not have happened without extraordinary partnerships with tribal nations and, of course, our partners in the North and Oregon. We just finished a celebration with the Secretary of the Interior and our tribal council and tribal leaders, and I couldn't be more proud as a Californian, and I couldn't be more proud as a father, because my kids and their great-great-grandkids will have the opportunity to see something that, well, has been here since time immemorial, and it's about damn time we got this done.
Now, if you guys know anything about the city of Los Angeles, it only exists by routing water to an otherwise uninhabitable part of California. So he destroyed this dam that is helping the city to survive. For what, you might ask? Because tribal leaders asked him to. And because they're brown, and we're America, and we're white, and we're horrible, and we stole their land, and we're colonizers, and everything else, he had to oblige them. And now the city is left struggling and hurting because it doesn't have the water that it requires. And if you want to see how that's playing out in real time, here's Rick Caruso. He ran for mayor against Karen Bass. Talk about how the fire hydrants are out of water. There is no water for the firefighters to use to fight this. Watch.
My heart goes out, obviously, to the people with their homes, and I'm watching the small businesses around us go up in flames. This is people's livelihoods, so it's devastating. But what is most concerning to me is our first responders and our firefighters who are trying to battle this. There's no water in the Palisades. There's no water coming out of the fire hydrants. This is an absolute mismanagement by the city. It's not the firefighters' fault, but it's by the city. And I'm going to be very honest. We've got a mayor that's out of the country, and we've got a city that's burning, and there's no resources to put out fires. So if you look at your pictures, you don't see the firefighters there because there's nothing they can do. And it looks like we're in a third world country here.
And you want to know why that is? Because in 2014, California raised almost $3 billion to build more water reservoirs. And you know what's happened since then? Nothing has been built. So not only are they raising money for water projects that aren't getting completed, but the LA mayor actually slashed $17 million from the fire department. And guess where that money was allocated to? Housing illegal immigrants. And on top of that, the mayor is complaining that there's a firefighter shortage. Well, you know what? They fired like 300 firefighters because they wouldn't get the COVID-19 injection, which was a staple of Democrat policy back in the day. Now listen to Anderson Cooper ask Gavin Newsom, why is there a water shortage? Why aren't the fire hydrants working? And I shit you not, Gavin Newsom says, I don't know, it's not my problem. Watch.
What is the situation with the water? Obviously, in Palisades, ran out last night in the hydrants. I was talking to the firefighter on this block. They left because there was no water in the hydrant here.
The local folks are trying to figure that out. I mean, just when you have a system that's not dissimilar to what we've seen in other extraordinarily large-scale fires, whether it be pipe, electricity, or whether it just be the complete overwhelm of the system. I mean, those hydrants are typical for 2 or 3 fires, maybe 1 fire. You have something at this scale, but again, that's going to be determined by the local.
So there you go. That's our leadership in California. That's who people want to talk about being the next Democrat candidate for president of the United States, this guy. So instead of them spending $200 billion on high-speed rail, which hasn't even had a mile of track laid, they could have been investing in better water projects. Why aren't there any desalination plants in the Pacific Ocean right off the coast? Fires happen in California all the time. I don't think that I mentioned that that same woman lesbian fire chief created a whole DEI commission within the fire department to make sure that they were hitting their goals. I also don't think that I mentioned that Gavin Newsom sent all of California's firefighting surplus equipment over to Ukraine. And another thing that they're being criticized for doing is absolutely zero forest management as it comes to cleaning up all of the dead trees that are helping these fires just spread rapidly every time that they break out. Here's Trump and Gavin Newsom in 2017 when Trump tells them, pleads with them, please manage the forests so these fires stop spreading so fast. Watch.
It's cleaned out and protected. You got to take care of the floors, you know, the floors of the forests, very important. You look at other countries where they do it differently, and it's a whole different story. I was with the president of Finland, and he said, we have a much different, we're a forest nation. He called it a forest nation. And they spend a lot of time on raking and cleaning and doing things, and they don't have any problem. And when it is, it's a very small problem. So I know everybody's looking at that, to that end, and it's going to work out.
Now, as I'm recording this is either day 2 or 3 of the fires. They're still 0% contained, and now new ones are popping up all over Los Angeles. So this is growing into an even greater catastrophe. Let me play you a little clip of what the Pacific Palisades, one of the most affluent neighborhoods in the entire world, looks like.
Okay, I guess let's park along this street, yeah? And then, Dave, if you can, just go ahead of us and try to set up a signal.
Right here. This is where it's got to be. This is, oh my God. What? I've never, look at this. Beyond comprehension. Oh. That's pretty sad.
Like, if you didn't know any better, you would think that this is a video of like Ukraine or a war zone or something like that. The city is absolutely ruined. Like, this is going to take a decade to rebuild. And this brings me to the next reason why California is going to be turning red. So now all these liberals who've just enjoyed the woke policies and the dumb, ineffective governance are now actually going to have to experience firsthand how incompetent it is. Because now, when they want to rebuild their homes, they're going to have to deal with the Coastal Commission. And for everybody who doesn't live in Southern California and knows about the Coastal Commission, boy, let me tell you about the Coastal Commission. They make life hell for anybody trying to do anything to a home within the coastal area. And that includes every single spot that is on fire right now. The Coastal Commission's sole job is to flood you up to your eyeballs in paperwork and regulatory burdens.
All these people who were deep blue Democrats are now going to have to pull a permit to rebuild. And they're going to get the 28-year-old bitch from the Coastal Commission telling them to go fuck off. And then they're going to vote for Trump. There's going to be a whole bunch of rich people, and they're going to go, I'm rebuilding, and I want to rebuild as fast as I can. And between the part where they go in to the Planning Commission and plan check and initially and try to pull a permit to the time the first load of lumber, the first load of 2x4s is dropped off on their lot where their house formerly stood, it's going to be 3 years.
I invest heavily in real estate, and I actually was doing a deal in the Palisades a few years ago. And this was like at the top of the Palisades, so not really super close to the coast. And the developers who I was working with said that it would be 3 years before we could even break ground because of working with the Coastal Commission. So imagine how long it's going to take these people who have actual coastal properties. There's a great chance that it's going to be 5 to 10 years before these people can actually even rebuild their houses. And do you think that these ultra-rich people are going to be happy about that? No. They are going to elect people who are about common sense governance, slashing regulations, reducing the regulatory burden, and allowing them to rebuild their homes quickly. And you know who those people aren't? Democrats. These people don't care anymore about preserving a 3-inch fish if it means that their house gets burnt to the ground every 2 years. They don't care anymore about patting themselves on the back and feeling good about electing a gay female fire chief in the name of equity and diversity if it means that the fire department isn't prepared or ready to stop the fires. So the red wave is happening right now in Los Angeles as we speak, like overnight. LA is a red county at this point. But you want to know why I think that the entire state is going to go red after this? Because the other areas of California are looking at Los Angeles, the governance of Los Angeles, and they're saying, wow, these leftist woke policies are literally contributing to the burning of Los Angeles, the second biggest city in the nation. And they will demand change in their own communities before that eventuality happens to them. If you watch a city burn to the ground because of bad Democrat governance, then you're going to make that change within your own city so you don't have to suffer the same fate. Again, all these rich, elitist liberals loved these woke policies because they were able to make themselves feel good. They felt better. They felt compassionate as long as the effects of those policies did not negatively affect them. And now they have. Homelessness in LA has skyrocketed despite the city spending more money than ever on homelessness. I don't know if you guys knew this, but they actually have free clinics for homeless people where they can come in and get free kits with what, you might ask? Needles, crack pipes, drug paraphernalia. So that way, the homeless people are doing it in a clean way. Now, the final thing that I'm going to show you is Joe Biden announcing today that for the next 180 days, the federal government will be paying for 100% of everything involved in the Los Angeles fire cleanup and mitigation. I seem to remember them not having enough money for Florida and North Carolina. Watch.
This morning, due to the magnitude of the disaster, I was talking with the governor, and he requested if I could increase the federal funding that was authorized under this legislation from 75% to 90%. We're increasing it to 100% of all the costs to be covered by the federal government for both the fire management systems grants and the elements of what they call the disaster declaration. So today I'm announcing that the federal government will cover 100% of the cost for 180 days. This is going to pay for things like debris and hazard material removal, temporary shelters, first responders' salaries, and all necessary measures to protect life and property. And folks, I want to underscore, I told the governor and local officials, spare no expense to do what they need to do and contain these fires and in their communities that have really been devastating.
So the same people who said there wasn't enough FEMA money for the hurricane disasters are now 100% subsidizing everything that's going on in California. It seems that, you know, those red states, Florida and North Carolina, they can kind of just figure it out on their own. But we need to give as much money as we can to California because they know that if they don't, they will lose all support from their Democrat base and they will be cooked in perpetuity. I don't think this move is going to change anything. I think the state is going red for sure because you can't let the second largest city in the United States just catch on fire because of bad policies and think that people are going to somehow forget. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. Do you think California is going to go red like I predicted? If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Turn on those notification bells so you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.